Year 11, welcome to your revision on the poem Cousin Kate by Christina Rossetti. We will start with what the poem is about. The poem is about a love triangle between a wealthy lord, the narrator, and her cousin Kate. Through the poem it seems as though the lord is a predator preying on innocent and vulnerable women. The narrator, who describes what has happened, does not think she is very pretty. She comes across as innocent and pure, but is insecure in comparison to Cousin Kate. When the narrator presents Cousin Kate to us, she is presented as younger and more attractive. However, the cousin has betrayed the narrator by marrying the man, the lord, who the narrator loves. If we begin by analysing the structure of the poem Cousin Kate is a monologue. The narrator directly addresses her cousin. Obviously she's wondering why her cousin's betrayed her, and the answer she comes up with initially is that the cousin is fairer than she is, younger than she is, more innocent. The structure also uses a ballad format. A ballad is a narrative that is set to music. Obviously the narrative is the narrator detailing her relationship with the Lord and obviously what went wrong. The ballad-like qualities of the rhythm reflect the morals and the ideas that the writer is trying to express about Victorian women and the lack of power that they had. We have a rigid structure used, which is clear to see because every stanza is presented in the same way with the same amount of lines, but also alternate rhyme is used. The alternate rhyme shows the difference between the wealthy lord and the narrator, because obviously they're very different in terms of class and status, but also the narrator and Cousin Kate. Stanza 1 begins with the personal pronoun I. The narrator is unnamed, which once again suggests a lack of power for Victorian women. I was a cottage maiden, hardened by sun and air. As we can see in the green there, cottage maiden and great lord are a juxtaposition. Again, it shows us the difference in class and status that the narrator has as opposed to the lord, which is shown again in the alternate rhyme scheme. Hardened by sun and air. We know that she's poor, but she seems content with the life that she leads, contented with my cottage mates, not mindful that I was fair. She doesn't realise, as I said at the beginning, that she is quite pretty actually, but she's unaware of this, probably because of the way she's treated by the Lord. Why did a great Lord find me out? Notice that that's repeated. Why did a great Lord find me out? Rhetorical question. She's confused as to why he's chosen her, so that is the suggestion there that maybe he does prey on vulnerable younger girls. And praise my flaxen hair to fill my heart with care. The rhetorical questions, as I say, shows us that she's confused about why he's picked her. Stanza 2. He lured me to his palace home. Lured suggests again that he's devious and manipulative, and obviously a young girl is probably more impressionable to his palace home. Again, this idea that his social standing's a lot higher than the narrator. Woes me for joy thereof. So she's saying, you know, what used to be a joyful thing, obviously their relationship, because naturally she thought she was in love with him, becomes one of sorrow and sadness. To lead a shameless, shameful thing. She's ashamed probably because she sleeps with the Lord out of wedlock, and obviously in those days that was frowned upon, which we will find out more later in this stanza when she's called an unclean thing. His plaything and his love. He wore me like a silken knot, he changed me like a glove. The similes there suggest that he used her and cast her aside. Probably he used her sexually and then cast her aside. So now I mourn an unclean thing. She's obviously lost her virginity to him here. She's lost her purity, she's lost her innocence, who might have been a dove. Dove is white, it has the connotations of something pure and something innocent, and obviously because she sleeps with him out of wedlock, she isn't none of those things anymore, and it seems as though she resents what she's done. Stanza 3. O Lady Kate, my cousin Kate, you grew more fair than I. Is that jealousy there, or actually is she prettier than the narrator? He saw you at your father's gate, chose you and cast me by. He watched your steps along the lane, your work among the rye. It's the idea that he's been watching her here. Again, if we think the Lord is preying on young women, then this suggestion here is that he's watched her for a while before he's made his move. He lifted you from mean estate to sit with him on high. Obviously, he's very powerful, isn't he? As we can see. What you've got to note here, though, is that the language is simple and monosyllabic, and because of that we see her hurt. She conveys how distraught she is and how upset she is at her cousin as well as the Lord, obviously for casting her aside and her cousin for betraying her.